Greetings, YouTube friends and family. Hi. I'm gonna try to keep a little distance from my old self. Spare you of that. I know I'm being funny, but I am a bit camera shy at my age. I hope you are doing very well, and happy September to you. We were all decorated in here for summer. I had brought up a lot of our orange pottery pieces and figurines and tried to do just green and orange. But I have had so much fun thrifting in August, especially when they started putting Halloween stuff out at the Goodwill. So I've really been kind of concentrating on thrifting videos for you, but I hope this one will be interesting to you and hopefully you might share it. There are some big changes in here. It was kind of a dilemma because we decided to add something new and vintage that was going to take up a good amount of space in here. So that required some real thought and some heavy duty lifting. We've been cleaning. One of the biggest projects that required Norm to move out the heavy love seat, get it way out of the way from the wall so he could get a ladder up against the wall, because I wanted one of our old vintage 60s clocks up there above the shadow box. So let's go look at some of the things that are new and different and thrifted mostly, and some of the moves of furniture and things. Again, I hope you've had a lovely September so far. Down here, some of you, I hope most of you, will recall how thrilled I was when we were, several months ago, maybe June, early June, and I spotted this crazy, what I think could be HOBBYIST. I am not going to turn it upside down now. I do not recall even if I did that in the store. But we like going to the Salvage Sisters in Waite Park, Minnesota, which is kind of like a suburb of St. Cloud. So it's not very far from us, and they're a wonderful store. They have a mix of new and repurposed things and vintage. So I've found some very nice vintage things there. This just, I think, kind of blew me away when it comes to crazy wild drip glaze pottery pieces. And to think that that was a lit up piece with these multi-colors of little, oh, I wonder if they're glass. You know, I never really thought about that. Yeah, that's not plastic. I'm pretty sure those are really nice glass pieces. They're kind of cold, so that's why I think that's what it is. So let's light it up. It's going to be very, very bright, and I don't know if it's going to come across that exciting on a camera video like this. So there is just a little on-off switch down there, which is nice because I don't have to take it in and out of the wall outlet to turn it on. So let's come over here. It's bright. It just lights up through the glass. It lights up my table through the glass. I don't know if you can get a feel for that. You know, when you try to show these lit up Christmas trees for Christmas, the ceramic ones, they never really look as anywhere as near as nice as when you're looking at them in person. So I hope that that is sufficient enough for you to get an idea. Let me back up. Maybe this will look better. I think it is just so kooky, and you know that's what I love. This is a fairly new thrifted planter, so I thought it would go good with the crazy peacock. That's really nutty, isn't it? Yep. By the way, I just wanted to mention that we did put an LED bulb in here so it does not get hot. Does not cost a lot to have that on. Same with our Christmas tree ones too. I've always shared these mallard plaques. They're really big. From Musketeer. I believe they're 60s. That were from my brother's estate. I absolutely love them and really appreciate being able to have a special wall to show them. So I'm always sharing them whenever I do these living room videos. In case you're new here to our channel, welcome. We really appreciate you joining our YouTube family. I also want to show again the thrifted swan plaques that are maybe they're 70s with wood and brass and copper. There were a lot of things made like that, and it's pretty easy from what I've noticed to find them in the thrift stores. It took me a while to find the smallest one. I think it might be that one. I can't remember for sure, but one of those smaller ones was maybe even a couple years after finding the first two, and they were all from Family Pathways thrift stores. So I finally have the set. I'm thrilled. I really do like all these glitzier pieces mixed in with my kooky stuff. Yep. So over here, I did decide to put some of these fun vintage plastic doilies down. They were a gift from Up Your Alley Vintage. Couple that we got to know. They were so nice, and they retired. They were in New Richmond, Wisconsin, just across the border from us, not very far, but she knew I really liked these doilies, so she had gifted them to me because we did at least a couple videos of their wonderful retro store that they decided to retire from that business. So I am grateful to have them. They're just a pale yellow. So I'm just kind of trying to protect the glass. I really have fun at the last minute thinking about maybe I could add some of our vintage owl figurines in here for fall. So I kind of thought, you know, keep a little green in here. I don't have very many orange owls. That's a thrifted pumpkin. I've had this face for many, many years, and I do love Chinese lanterns. Just love them. They make me think of my mom because she was who introduced me to Chinese lanterns. She grew them, and you know, it was maybe 5 years ago at least, I decided to try to grow some of them in our backyard. Oh my goodness, they spread. Ooh, that kind of scared me. They spread like wildfire. Not where I wanted them. They were going up the hill to the pond, and I had them back off the back of the pond. So yeah, that was a chore trying to take them back out again. I'm pretty sure it was the Chinese lanterns. Now this you haven't seen yet in a video. Yes, it's very kooky. We were thrifting, looking for Halloween stuff this past month, a lot in August, and I do like going up there to Waite Park for multiple stores, the antique places, a couple of them, and several thrift stores. So this was at a Goodwill that's really a fun Goodwill, and I've got videos. I don't know that I put one out doing some thrifting there yet or not. I think I'm working on one right now. But that Goodwill just really has cool stuff in it, and I seem to find hobbyist pieces. So when I saw that, I went nuts because I loved the shape of it. It's just so cool for a pot, and yes, it is initialed on the bottom. You'll see that in the thrifting video when I do get that out. But I took it from way back in the corner of the shelving and was going crazy over it. Norm was rolling his eyes. He thought it was weird, of course, but you see how fun it is when you get some things in it. That's all I could come up with these kooky, spiky, whatever they are. I love them. I think of mums, spiky mums, but they may not be. I found them at Hobby Lobby at least a year ago, probably 2 years ago. But they seem to be very hard to arrange. But that's the best I could do to fill in a space there and get a little bit of height with some sticks. This was up against the freestanding wall next to the love seat. Do you recall that? It's very, very nice over there, but that's where I had to end up moving the end table. You'll see why I had to move the end table, because of the big piece of furniture that came in here a couple weeks ago. But Norm likes this. I mean, at the last minute, I thought, I know I have to fill this space over here, because I talked Norm into moving the beautiful console table over down to the end so I could put the TV on it and raise the TV up. You may recall the TV being right next to the fireplace in all my former videos, but I thought it was sitting kind of low and we needed to make room for this new piece of furniture. But I did want to emphasize the television, elevate it in many ways. So that's what I decided to do, and he was okay with that. And then I took out our orange stretch or swung vases that we have. I have some tinier ones, but these are the ones that go together, so it makes an uneven number of 5. I went through my Thanksgiving bins because I wanted to put out just a few pumpkins. I have an abundance of pumpkins because I love them, but these go so nice because they're glass, and you can hopefully see that this is a lovely swirled art glass pumpkin, and I did thrift it along with thrifting that one. I was very lucky to find them. They weren't broken, but I do love this one. And Norm found these very small grapes in a little, it's orange, but a little more of a golden orange. This was a fairly new purchase, and I can't remember where I found it, but I thought it was so pretty. He really does like Amberina too, so it goes really well on this table here. I love these, and they've been tucked away in a drawer for probably 2 years or more. I found these so cheap, it was ridiculous, and I'm sorry, I just don't know off the top of my head. I'd have to go way back to a video that I did in, I think I actually did the video in the store. It was a Salvation Army not too far from us in Lane, is it, area. So these are signed by Michael, and I did have them in the front entrance area at the foot of the stairs when I did a video with them in our decor for some fall decor. It is three-dimensional. I hope you can see that. They're kind of punched out there, the branches and the pine cones. I think they are just the coolest. Yes, they're in cheapo metal frames, but that's all part of the charm. This one has a couple little spots on it that I could try to touch up, but boy, I don't know, you know, that might be kind of hard to do. They were in very good condition, I thought, and I don't recall if there was something on the back of it, but they were so ridiculously cheap. They must have thought nobody'd want those. I absolutely love them. Now the other one is completely different, so I'll show you that one on my left. So above the TV here, this one has gourds on it. I did have a nail that is up for those long metal 60s sconces that I usually will put a bird on, or a candle and a candlestick holder. These, and they do have gold on them. I hope you can see that too. A lot of gold over there on those leaves. So this is your spiky mums, I assume, and a gourd. I don't know that that would be a pumpkin that small, so that I'll just consider that a gourd too, but I just love them. And you know, when something's put in a drawer for several years, it's really surprising when your brain will pull up something like that and think, oh, that's right, I have those two long pictures, because I had the green sconces up here, the green metal sconces for the summer one, and I was just going to leave them here with orange birds on them, but all of a sudden, a couple days ago, I thought of these two pictures, so I'm thrilled that I remembered that. So let's go back over to the plant stand. And, you know, it does make sense. If I had real plants in there, it would be an ideal spot for a fun plant stand. This I found, maybe it might have been like $9, and I do not think I've shown it to you yet. I really don't, because I got it after Easter, and I haven't had any fall videos. I just love it. It may not be all that exciting when you see things in a store, and I don't remember where it was. I think it could have been in Hutchinson, but I think it's just great, and a little bit of fall fern looking things I've tried to put in these planters that I was going to use for summer. I had a pair of ducks that I like to use more for spring, Easter even, because they're kind of rosy. They could very well be Royal Copley. These little green swans by Hull. I adore those too, and I do have ferns that have more of a reddish tinge to them. For fall, I have the green ones that look very green too. I bought quite a few of those when I first found them. They're hard to find, and I did get them on sale too. I was very happy about that. The green and yellow fish, I probably could have put something down there too that was more brown that I have in the basement, but it goes fine with the two frog ones left over from summer and spring. Just had fun trying to come up with some little pieces that I cut. I'm always having to cut things with a wire cutter. I wear out our wire cutters. Do you do that too? You tend to buy these things in really big bushes, and I need them for small pots or small vases, yeah. So I'm very happy with that. I hope you like that arrangement so far. Yeah, and down here I have a super, super wild dish, California Pottery, that I could save for Halloween to show you. It's very heavy. When we went to Duluth in April for our anniversary, I think this was $20 in a very small place northwest of Duluth. We went up the hill to find some antique shops in Hermantown. Have you ever been up there? We go up there for restaurants because the ones down at Canal Park are just too crowded. But that is a covered dish in the center. This is beautiful California pottery. It's the wildest piece we own. I love this, so I do want to use it for October. So you may see it again. Well, let's go check out what's in the corner over here that is brand new, a crazy idea.
In mid-August, Peggy and I went to Legacy Thrift, formerly Bibles for Missions.
In Crystal, Minnesota.
In Crystal, yes. And over in the furniture area, I was moseying around over there, and I came across this little Magnus chord organ, and it was marked $75, marked down to $60, marked down to $45. And Peggy was over where the shelving is for all her goodies, and I came across this, and I thought it looked pretty good.
I was looking at holiday stuff.
And it said on the note from the 60s, we looked it up, and this is from the 1960s. And when you look up Magnus chord organs, Magnus organs are electric reed organs, a bit like harmoniums, but with an internal fan that pushes the air through the reeds, so the sound is produced acoustically. And then you need to record it with a microphone if you want to make a recording of it, but I don't know.
Yeah, this is very simple. I heard it. It does work, of course.
Yep.
I think it sounds kind of like an accordion sound. I haven't bothered to go through what music books I have left after we sold my beautiful Yamaha Clavinova piano a year ago. We did end up saving some music books. We gave them a lot of music books, but I do have some that would work. We found online several people were selling this book, and it is for this organ. So this is a vintage $1 book with cute graphics on it with some simple songs inside.
There's many books.
Yeah.
Songs to Remember, Smile and a Frog,
Open
Smile
it up
and a Song.
and show a song, because I just want to see if there's no more graphics in there. But yeah, they're just old songs. They're older than the 60s, you know.
Very simple.
Yeah, kind of the songs I grew up playing.
And then Peggy got
when I was a kid taking piano lessons, and I've had this little sheet for many years. I thought it would be fun to stick up on here because it's you know, just 4 different songs on a sheet. 1948. Wow, that was before I was born. Mattel Creations. Huh. We found on eBay. It was the most reasonable one. It does have some paper loss right there in the corner, but it was very clean and very reasonable. It was under $20.
Yeah. And
13 or 12.
She shipped it to us in a nice sturdy envelope.
We have it on video. When I was doing thrifting of Halloween things in particular, I came over to where Norm was and saw this, and he had already been looking at it, but he figured we're out of space here in the living room. You know how it's been. I had the television sitting over here on a end table that I will show you where the end table got moved to. It's a vintage light-colored laminate end table. So that's what was there. And we had a bigger bookcase that's the metal book rack, really pretty. So we've shifted around 2 of them. But I was picturing the piano over here, pushed over this way so you could see it more, but Norm did not like the fact that it had such a big open area underneath. Well, I later put this little telephone stand with those music books in it. It was way over to my left by the couch or love seat, but now I discovered it fit underneath, so that was great to be able to store it there. But at least when we have the big black leather barrel chair sitting here, you still see the keyboard sticking up. Right. So now it's the only white thing I have on this wall. I do have the white end table over at the beginning of the living room, but yeah, I've never really had much white in here for several years now.
Light in the back too, so if you have a book there, it actually projects a light onto the paper.
The paper, yeah. It's not any kind of flip up thing to hold music. It's just a groove.
It's a little bulb.
It's just a groove. So what happened was then I was falling in love with it in the Legacy thrift store. When I was looking at it, I thought it was the cutest thing I've ever seen. We have never seen this chord organ before anywhere. Have you?
Well, when I was a kid, they were pretty popular.
Yeah, they were. Yeah, Norm didn't take piano lessons, but I was doing that as a kid too.
Yeah.
We got home and did not have it, did not buy it. I thought it was so adorable. Norm knew how I felt about it. And of course I said, no, I understand. There's nowhere to put it in the living room. Nowhere. It just seemed impossible. But the next morning he said, I'm going to go back and get it. I said, why? We don't have anywhere for it. That's very nice of you.
That's never been a problem for Peggy to put something somewhere.
Yep.
That's for sure. So.
You know, I said, that's really sweet of you, but there's no room in your toy room downstairs in the basement. What are we going to do with it? And he didn't seem to care. He just decided to go back and get it. He spent, an hour putzing with it?
At least an hour.
At least an hour cleaning it, even with Q-tips and alcohol. And yeah, he went over it as best as he could and vacuumed, you know, using the vacuum on it and everything.
Sounds pretty good.
It sounds fine, works fine. I just don't find the time to play around with something like that. I'm just too busy with other stuff, and I don't miss it. Sorry. But I just think this is adorable because we have the old TV, and I love this, and I, had to move everything around. We really did a lot of moving around a week or so ago. So thanks, Norm, for helping describe how we came across this. And I hope you think it's really cute. He did a good job cleaning it up, and I'm grateful.
I'll move the chair back, and then they can see what it looks like.
Yeah, $45? Good grief. That's really a deal. So thanks for listening to this long story. So we did have to take away a really nice, long, and narrow, taller book rack that's a lot fancier than these. So that got sent down in the basement back into the office area again. I love it, but it wasn't going to be able to be up there now. So I had to condense my book collection down. Gave a lot away to the Legacy thrift store when we were over there looking at that. And it works just fine now to use 2 of this size. So I will just let you look at what I ended up with some of our pots. I think I've collected more orange and golden orange, drip glaze, splatter glaze, planters, pots, and I keep them out in the shed. I don't have room in the basement. I keep all of our good vases and things like this, which is fairly new. I'll tell you about that in a minute. I keep them upstairs in a bedroom, and maybe someday I'll get around to showing you how I do that. I really do enjoy them. Love crazy things like that. It is so fun. Had that for quite a long time. One of my favorite goofy Hager vases up there. I'm not holding the camera very well, but I'm really stretching my arm up there to show you that. So let me tell you about this one here. I just went nuts over this at the Pink Squirrel. The Pink Squirrel is coming up for September's next Wednesday. Yep. And I do enjoy going to them because I like looking especially for old candle rings or whatever in very old foliage like that from Hong Kong. I think they are just so cool. So I've got some pieces sitting around here, but this was at the Pink Squirrel, and you saw me go crazy over that when Norm was holding it up to show me just down the aisle a little bit. Oh, it was so inexpensive. What? I can't remember what that was, but it was nuts. I'll see if I can find the price again, but isn't it gorgeous? Yeah, because it's very dimensional pattern on it here. Not sure what it is, but look at that unusual top on it. Yep. So these I found in Wisconsin, Osceola, Wisconsin. There's a nice antique mall there, and I think they were pretty reasonable. I think I got them on sale for, I don't know, was it $20? But I really like them because they're so crazy. And I do have 2 pairs of black ones like this. They seem to be easier to find than some of the fancier brands, maybe because they're hobbyist. I think that I bought these Chinese pheasants many years ago. I don't think, oh, there is whales. Let's see if I can focus on that. So they are Japan. And I decided that they weren't modern enough for me after having them for a while. Because I started getting into the California birds so much, I decided to give those to my brother. My brother had a large pheasant collection that I also was trading back and forth with him. Meaning he would bring me some very fun things like for the kitchen, a lot of vintage things that I really loved. And I had things that I had decided I was not going to use, and I knew he would like them, but I obviously told him he could sell anything he wanted to. And he would say the same to me, but he gave us a lot of very nice things over the years. So I did get these back from my brother, along with his pheasant collection that I had collected many years ago too, and then traded with him. But he loved pheasants because he was many years long-time member and contributor to Pheasants Forever, an organization, and I don't know where their headquarters are, but he used to go pheasant hunting every year when he was younger, but he hadn't in these later years before he passed away. But he was going to South Dakota, so Pheasants Forever keep their habitat healthy and abundant. So there is the other one on the other side. I thought it would be fun for you to see that, along with some of the vintage half candle rings. These are picks, though. Those are picks. The two on each side. That is not a candle ring cut in half. So I believe these are Chinese pheasants too. What do you think? You see that hooded look on them? And there it is there. So that is my opinion, and there is a crown on him, as there is on this one. So that is my thought. They have long tails. Yep, so I wanted to put those together with, this is a vase that Norm picked out by Hull. We went again for our anniversary to Duluth in April. He found this at Father Time. We have an ewer or pitcher that is made the same way that we found quite a few years ago that I typically will put in the dining room, and he thought this was really nice, so I thought I would show that again. He is enjoying it in this arrangement. Down on the hearth here, I have shared before that this was my first large drip glaze pot in the really bright golden orange color. Norm loves this color too, as much as I do. And I've had this for many years, but it was just last year that I found that one. Downtown Hopkins, Minnesota, at one of the biggest antique malls down there. I think it's Antiques on Main, LLC. If I'm wrong, I'll put a note in the video here which one it was, because there's Main Street Antiques, and I think the other one is Antiques on Main, LLC. Yeah, that was on sale. I was so thrilled to find it. It was so reasonable to begin with. It may have been like $25, but then she had I think like a 20% discount on it. So I got a really good deal on it. That one is probably more of a bamboo design, do you think? But I do just love these silly grasses. I did buy 2 stems of them last year, I believe, at Hobby Lobby, I believe. I like that simple look, and I did thrift that pumpkin last year. So yeah, I just love simple grass like that. It's so fun that this one is turning brown and getting kind of kinky. Yeah, that's fun. Before I go over to the other side over there to show you some new things, I think I'll just show you the coffee table first. I was working with green and orange when I first set up the living room for a summer video, so I did just leave these 2. This was a second one that I had found. The first one I think I got at Wild Vintage Collective. So it's really a beautiful green and olive drip. So that one over there, I was happy to find a second one. Yeah, this one on the bottom says Santa Anita Ware. And I did show that in a video where I did probably, you know, the spring one, where I had a lot of green. This is so cool. Can't remember, sorry, where I ended up finding this, but this thing is really dripped with orange. I was going to show it in the summer video, but I decided I don't think I've shared it with you yet. I really don't. It may have just not fallen at the right time of year when we picked it up, and sometimes I'll have some things for almost a year and not been able to show you. So I'm gonna take this out so I can show you the inside of this crazy thing. Isn't that wild? Yeah, it was really fun to find this. Good size swan. I know, I really like kooky things, right? Now, I honestly don't recall if I've shown you this one yet either. Forgive me if I have, but I hope you might enjoy seeing it again if I did. I think it's newer to me, Norm. Probably something I found in Hutchinson. I don't know, but isn't it gorgeous? Yeah, I honestly don't recall if I showed you that, and I don't remember how long I've had it. So it says Cal style, California style. And this one over here I have shown you before. It's really pretty with the gold trim all over it. Trying to walk around here on my knees. So you've seen pieces like this before. Very pretty. Yeah, I love that too. This was in the picture window alongside of the council table because I had room on each side of the council table for some little thing like the telephone stand was on one side and this was on the left side. This bird we found in a town near La Crosse, Wisconsin. We had gone down to Winona, Minnesota, to Antiques under Sugarloaf, and Sugarloaf is the name of a bluff down there, a big bluff at typical in Winona. Beautiful scenery down there, and there's this really wonderful 3-story big antique mall that we really love to go to, but it's quite a trek for us. Very long day driving to and from. But there are other little, I don't know if they'd be considered suburbs or other little towns just outside of La Crosse when we go across the river and go antiquing at a huge place in La Crosse, downtown La Crosse. But this was at a smaller antique mall, so I was thrilled to find it. It is California Pottery, lots of gold on it. I also found one, several years later, more recent, that's in gold tones. So I hopefully will be making something in here for Thanksgiving where I could show you more gold items. Hopefully along with some turkeys too. I've had that crazy splatter, pumpkin looking almost, right? Planter for quite a few years. I just love it. And I've invested in a lot of black beans and throwing out a lot of the white ones because they're getting really bad looking. And I bought white beans, I mentioned before, many years ago because I was putting them in milk glass planters. And milk glass can be a little bit translucent at times and it could cause a dark effect. So my white bean collection is huge, and because I've filled a lot of big pots with them over the years, but they're getting very bad looking, splitting, peeling. So Norm just took me over to Aldi and I bought quite a few bags of the small, tiny little black beans, and unfortunately they can be more expensive, I think. I think they're the more expensive beans. Yeah, I love to have them in, it looks like black dirt more to me, and it's great for Halloween. This I've shown before. Is that a bank? No, it's not a bank. Nothing marked on it, but it is ceramic. He's very kooky. But I had fun picking out some, stealing them from my owl bedroom. And up here, I just found this at the thrift store. He's very tiny. And I painted his nose and feet a golden orange. That's kind of bright. I'm gonna take the light off. It's pretty harsh, I think, on him. Yeah, you can see the orange better now, but I also had one pair of glass eyes left. And yes, they're more green and yellow, but I still wanted to put them on him and dress him up, so I love him now. Just love him. For a new owl. You know, they're making all kinds of little owls like this. Different colors, but I just loved the pattern. Very, very textured, wonderful pattern on him. But it's really fun to dress him up to look more vintage. Oh, I forgot to mention this beautiful mid-century vase that is Italian. My sister gave it to me. I looked all the information up on this. I did find something similar, but it is very hard to find sometimes the exact same kind. I was going to see what its value was, what it was selling for years ago. My sister said it was left behind in an apartment that she ended up renting. It is really, 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 really heavy. Extremely heavy. Very, very thick glass in the bottom. And it has wonderful green, white, yellow, kind of limey green or yellowish, and beautiful orange, possibly that could be considered a reddish orange up there. That was very nice, very thoughtful of her. It just wasn't her style, but I'm sure it's a very lovely and valuable vase. So we've had that for many years. I wanted to just give you a quick look at some of the foliage and planters that have been out in the shed for a while. I used the birds, one on each side over here. They're different, but a similar idea of a couple of birds on a branch in green colors. This one has more detail than the other one on the other side, and I probably have shared that before. That is a newer vase for us. It's probably a year old. I just thrifted this. I think it was in Maple Grove. I think it was in our city's Goodwill. I actually have it on a thumbnail for one of my videos, thrifting there at the Goodwill at the time. I think it's really neat. I cannot find it anywhere. It's got quite an unusual, uneven opening up there, and the leaves I think are just beautiful. There's no identification on the bottom. It just looks older to me, the bottom of it. Yeah, I just cannot locate that on the internet. I think it's very much like Hager Pottery. So I was thrilled to find that at the Goodwill. Very good price. It was worth it. Yeah, I can't remember, but it's, like I said in the video, I'll see if I can look it up and tell you again what it cost. I thought it was a great deal. Both sides have this pair of, half of a pair of very unusual horsehead bookends. They are Trojan style, very stylized or Art Deco-like. They could be hobbyist too, I really don't know. And they're much smaller than those type of horsehead bookends up there, and I'll tell you about them too. I don't know if I've talked about them yet in a video. I just love this vase. This was also not too long ago that we found that, probably a year ago. Thrilled with that. I just love these really bright golden ones. So I do have one on each side with this very wheat looking foliage. So I did have to use a few green things. I just obviously don't have enough to do all orange, and that would probably be crazy anyways. This one Norm absolutely loves. We have several of these pictures by Hager, and this is the brightest one. We have probably one in green, one in more the reddish orange, like those colors. And this one, I don't know if I have one in kind of brown tones or not. So there's some more of my favorite vases. This corner one, what we got in Duluth at the antique marketplace, Duluth Antique Marketplace. Very, very tall, skinny, beautiful bottle that I think is Hager. But I did identify it, of course, in a video at that Duluth Marketplace. I don't know if we did one or two videos there. It's a lot to go through, but that was probably our splurge for the trip in that particular fun mall, 2 floors. It's in East Duluth, I believe. I love that Hager one. I just love those. In the greens. Now up here, I should go get the step stool. I think I'll do that. Hold on. I can see it's working better to not have my phone light on. Up here, I do have our ceramic, vintage ceramic lamp. I don't think I've ever gotten this close to it. Does have nice gold swirls on it. Many, many years ago when we first decided we wanted to start finding some mid-century modern lighting for our living room and dining room and bedrooms even too. So we were having fun looking for lucite lamps, but I think that was the very first one that we fell in love with. Still love it. And it's pretty high up because of such a high ceilings that we have. And that's the kitchen, of course, over that wall. So it does look better without my flashlight on. These are so cool. They're very metallic, and they are the same design as 2 pair of black ones, and actually some white ones that I have. I found them on eBay. I think it was eBay versus Etsy. I just can't quite remember, but I was looking for brown horse heads because I wanted something for fall. I didn't want to use black ones or green or white. I even have a pair of red Hager ones. But these happened to be for sale, and it was a ridiculously low price for what you were getting. I was just shocked. I felt so blessed. I don't know if this was something that was hobbyist, and I don't know if I'll see anything. Alberta, which is probably a mold. Yeah, I just can't tell. It'd be really hard to see something there. Yeah, that's really hard to tell. If I can figure it out, 1976? Oh, really? I don't know. But I put little rubber feet on the bottom of them. She offered them free shipping. I was so shocked. I don't know if they were like 25, maybe. But what a deal. Free shipping? Wow. You know, you can imagine 2 pieces like that can get a little costly, right? Having them shipped. So I do love them. Well, as usual, I wanted to pull out of the closet some of our vintage pillows that we found over the years. This crushed velvet owl one I've had for decades. I just loved owls so long ago and probably saw it at an antique mall. I don't know. It's just been way, way too long. Up here, I did put a couple of the lucite gold. They're orange. They're actually the more orange candles in the 2 sconces. I hope you think that's kind of fun to have put the starburst clock up here. I thought it would be fun to complement the starburst sconces that Norm has always liked. It was a very early purchase, way before I think we had the shadow box. We had those, and I think I may have even bought them on eBay too. Pretty reasonable back then, so long ago. So I hope you think that's kind of fun. For a change, something crazy and wild, and I have shared a lot of our pressed glass basket, especially collection. I put out a lot of baskets for the spring video that I was going to do, and I obviously had more greens in there at the time with the orange. But I took out some of the green baskets and changed the middle to these 3 very fun hobnail, probably Fenton, little swung bases. Yep, those are my miniature ones, and over the years I've been fortunate to find the 3 different colors. I actually thrifted the 2 on the left. The right one possibly was from an antique mall, but yeah, the one on the 2 on the left were thrifted. They were a real surprise to find. So that's fall colors that wasn't too hard for me to switch over a few things in there. Now, over here, let's go see about that little end table there and the desk. As you recall, I was explaining about the television set that had been sitting on this little retro laminate end table, and it was on the right side of the fireplace as you're facing the fireplace. The TV went really well on it because the television's the same color. I knew that I had to find somewhere nice for this little end table. I didn't want to get it out of the living room. So I thought hopefully I can fit the plant stand over there in the space now that we made on the right side of the window. And it did fit very nicely, so I was hoping I could squeeze this in here, and yes, things are squeezed in, I know that. Sorry about the lamp cord. I should have tried to pull that back behind the table. That is now plugged into that timer, so this lamp comes on over here instead of in our picture window. I think it fills in the space very nice. So this has been one of my favorite ones to have up here. That is a real snake plant. It's absolutely nuts, I know. The skinniest snake plant I've ever seen in my life. It does have a name. That pot is thin enough so I don't worry too much about a real heavy plant being in there. But I love it. It's way up there. My $10 beaded plant hanger from Duluth many, many years ago from Father Time. So I just wanted to share a few things on the desk. We're almost done. I know this is a long video, but so much to show you that I am thrilled about, and we're so tickled over having a crazy little organ. I've shown you this before that I thrifted and thought is so cute to put some pencils or pens in. Love our typewriter, and this crazy mug I've had here many times. I think I switched this out. I think we had maybe a green tape dispenser up here, but Norm had this one downstairs on his desk. He doesn't really need that, any special color down there. And this was at my brother's house. It's an old swing line with a little bit of wear on it. I thought you might just get a kick out of seeing that. I certainly use them all the time at work, all my years working. And I have shared this before with you. We found this many years ago in the box, never used. So everything inside is blank, all the pages. Yeah, it's really fun. So you just dial and it flips open to that part of the alphabet. Now this, I'm pretty sure we haven't shared yet. This fan is oscillating, very quiet. It's in gorgeous condition. I don't recall if Norm or I have actually worked hard to clean it up real well. It was from an antique shop in Howard Lake, Minnesota. It's called the Vintage Exchange. Very nice owners. I'm pretty sure I've talked about them before. They are very, very fun to visit with. It's a beautiful, smaller shop, but they do have wonderful sales. And we just thought this was so cool. A lot of the old fans that you find that are fun are turquoise. And I didn't want a turquoise fan. I've always wanted an old fan. And I can't tell you how thrilled I am to find one with colored blades. Now these are plastic. They're not, metal, stainless or chrome, whatever that is, probably chrome. But yeah, it just oscillates beautifully. Very fast fan, and like I said, it's quiet. So that was a little bit of a splurge, but we just thought it was the nicest one we had seen yet. And I did want something very quiet that would blend with our colors, and this does beautifully. It's very taupe. So down here I put back this telephone stand. I think it was alongside of the couch. So I would not want to give this up. This is a bigger one. It's wider, much bigger, and I love it. So I did put the phone down there instead of up on the corner of the desk where I've shown you many times. Now, I am not positive either if I've shown you this monster pot. Can you imagine the amount of beans it took? Yes, I could put a whole bunch of styrofoam peanuts in the bottom, but I just didn't get around to that. So it's full of beans, full of beans. I keep dropping beans all the time because I'm constantly repotting things. So Norm will find a black bean here or a brown bean here or there laying around under the couch or chair or something, and of course he always thinks it's a bug. What is that, a dead fly over there? Oh, that's funny. That is how everything looks for September. I know there's not a lot left of September, but it was very fun doing it because I've been working on it for a couple weeks now. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the new things for us, and especially the little organ over there. What'd they call that? A cord organ. And the old pictures on the wall over there in the corners. Norm really likes everything too. I'm so glad that after all that hard work, getting that clock up there and actually working on the clock before he even put it up there to get all those rays resprayed in a flat black. I think we're gonna enjoy that. Yeah, it's pretty wild, but we hope your September is beautiful. We're looking forward to seeing some gorgeous leaves. So thank you for being here with us. Norm says so long for now, and we'll probably see you in another thrifting video after this, because I've just found so many cute Halloween things. I'm having a blast. You guys take care now. Be well. Thank you for all your fun comments. We love you for them. Take care now. Bye-bye.